SPF Management is located here. To use this feature, you will need to have access to a license with management features. This can be confirmed by accessing the dashboard of the account and checking the tier. In this video, we'll show you the steps to follow to onboard the SPF Manager. We will go from a conventional SPF record to a record managed by the DMARC Manager application. This means that currently in the DNS of your domain, you will find a conventional SPF record that may look like this one. First step, Sender Manager. Let's make sure that the Sender Manager is completed. As a reminder, the Sender Manager is the documentation of all senders used from this domain to send email and all authentication mechanisms, SPF and DKIM, published in the DNS of this domain. For further information about the Sender Manager, please refer to the knowledge base article and video. Step 2, SPF Management. There are 3 ways to access the SPF Management feature. Icon on the left-hand side of the screen. Via the drop-down menu, select the domain you would like to manage. From the domain, via the contextual menu of a given domain, you can access the SPF Management. From the Sender Manager of a given domain, you can also access the SPF Manager by clicking on the button at the bottom of the screen. When accessed, the SPF Manager will check the Sender Manager against the record published in your DNS. Remember, at this stage, the record is yet to be managed by the application. If the SPF status checks colors green, it means that we have a match between the record in the DNS and the Sender Manager. If the SPF status colors red, it means, Houston, you have a problem and you need to potentially reinstate your SPF record ASAP. If your SPF status colors yellow, like we've got here on screen, it means there is a difference between the Sender Manager and the content of the record published in DNS. You may investigate this further by clicking on the icon next to the SPF status, and this will compare the Sender Manager against the SPF domain. Any IPs colored in red on the left-hand side are IPs not present in the SPF DNS record. So it means that you have a supplier that is in the Sender Manager, but it's yet to be published or pushed to the SPF record published. On the other hand, on the right-hand side, any IPs that are coloring red are IPs of suppliers or senders that are yet to be added to the Sender Manager. In our example, we need to edit the Sender Manager and add Salesforce. To do that, you navigate to the Sender Manager, you add Sender, you look up for Salesforce, you check that the information provided on screen matches what the supplier may have given you, and you click on Add. The status circle will confirm that Salesforce has a legitimate presence in the Sender Manager. Why? Because it colors green, so it means that whatever is declared here is present in the SPF record published on the domain. Once this has done, we can go to the SPF Manager and we can just check that the status is now coloring green. We are now ready to activate SPF Management. To do so, you click on the button. This will create the DNS zone. The Manage DNS status is coloring red. Why? Because there's currently no IP address listed in the placeholder. So you then create the change set. That will take all the IPs present in the Sender Manager and place them in the DNS. We approve. And we commit. You can also leave a note and click on save. If we go back to the SPF Manager, we will see that the SPF status is coloring green and the managed DNS status is also coloring green. So it means that between the record that is currently present in your DNS and the record that we manage for you, we've got an exact match. So now what we need to do is to publish the relevant SPF record to ensure that you are managing your SPF record via the application. To do that, you hover over the manage status, you copy the text, and this is the record you will need to publish in your DNS. Okay, once you've published the relevant record in your DNS, you can then refresh the status of the record. Okay, it indicates that is not found. It's probably because I have done a little error while publishing. Okay, now it's all looking good. We've got a green SPF status, a green managed DNS status, and we've got a green managed status. So that means that now the record published in the DNS of this domain is actually managed by the application. That means if we go back to the sender manager, and let's say, for example, we have to onboard a new supplier. So we click on add sender. We give the supplier a name. This supplier has asked us to publish an IP4 in the DNS. Here it is. I'm adding it to the list. The status will color red. Why? Because the IP address is not present in the SPF that is published on this domain. I'll go to the SPF Manager. The create change set is coloring red, so it means that there's a change set available, and we can see there's a difference between the sender manager and the DNS entry. So we create a change set. We onboarding new supplier. We approve. And we commit. Okay, this is now completed. We go back to the manager. We've got green lights everywhere, so that's awesome. And we move to the sender manager. We refresh the list of senders, and we can see that the new supplier is going to jump from a red color to a green color, which confirms that the IP provided is now present in the SPF record published on the domain. To remove a supplier, you just click on the supplier, you delete it, and do not forget to then go to the SPF Manager and create the relevant change set in order to remove those IP addresses from the SPF record. It is also important to note that our engine will check every 5 minutes the include added to the sender manager, and should the supplier or the sender add or remove an IP address from their manage include, it will automatically be added and removed from your record as well. And every time this happens, you will also have a change set that has been created that is relevant to the platform. If you require any further assistance regarding any of the features of the DMARC Manager application, please feel free to contact our support team. They will be happy to help you out.